how did our future king and the most popular royal in the US get himself in trouble this weekend? What happened? Okay, what happened was he just didn't want to go to Australia to support the women's football soccer team in the UK. That's pretty much the gist of it. Are we surprised? Let's not pretend like this isn't the first time that Prince William has been accused of being work shy. Him and Kate has always kind of been given a pass with barely or to light criticism from the British UK media. But this time, which is why in one of my last videos, I said it. That contract or that little deal that the palace has with the UK media is getting thinner and thinner and thinner. So for those of you who don't know, this is the UK women's football slash soccer in America, the Liners. And for the first time in I want to say 60 something years, they made it all the way to the World Cup in Australia. So this is a big deal in the UK, and for Prince William to be the president of the FA, he wasn't so much of a president. Because as you can see here from some of his biggest supporters and supporting trolls, even they were upset at how he responded and how his lack of presence in Australia was... Because not only did he not show up in Australia, he sent a video via Twitter, and I'm covering up Charlotte's face for a reason, because I just don't want kids to get attacked. So, yes, let's move on. And for those of you who don't know, during the summer times, the royal family is on vacation. Vacation from what? I do not know. And they typically vacation in Balmoral. So right now is their resting time. But everyone is saying, even the UK press, this typical weasel of a creepazoid, Russell Myers, and so many people of the public has been saying, hey, this is a once-in-a-lifetime thing. You should go to Australia because this is a once-in-a-lifetime thing. They need your support. You are the future king. You are the prince of the UK. Why aren't you there? Now, to play devil's advocate for maybe about 10 to 15 seconds, he would have been criticized for his carbon footprint for going to Australia for about 24 hours because it would have been a very short trip. So it would have been damn if he do, damn if he doesn't. Right? Wrong. Because we all know it's damn if you do, damn if you doesn't for these two all the time. No matter what they do, they're going to get it no matter what. Yes, because had Prince William went to Australia, yes, he would have got criticism from the typical republic who just doesn't want a monarch. But let's keep it real. The little criticism that he would have received for going and putting his carbon footprint on the earth and being a hypocrite, that would have got overshadowed because the UK media would have been praising him to the high heavens and screaming about how he's a real king of our country. And how what he's doing is what is truly what duty looks like, and how he's going to unite Australia and all the world. That's what it been looking like. And then you would have got some sort of random criticism or sort of random just throwing Prince Harry and Meghan in there just to rip them apart. But speaking of being a unifier of the country, remember that article from the US? Prince William going to Australia would have also been, it would have dampened the blow a little bit because Australia is extremely close to becoming a republic and just null and void that monarch reign over the continent. Which is why this whole story that's been coming out this weekend about King Charles holding an urgent summit at Balmoral to discuss the future of the monarch with Kate, William, and Camilla makes no sense. Because if the whole point of this summit is to mend fences with the Commonwealth, shouldn't your king or future king make some sort of appearance? And that would have been a great time to kind of just, I don't know, make peace talks or something? Wouldn't it make sense? When you're looking from an angle, he could have went and supported the lioness for like 2 seconds and also showed his face in Australia, and it could have just like, okay, it could have been the bridge. It could have been a start. But I mean, we are talking about Prince William here, because who can forget this? I also forgot to mention that in that article, the summit is because he wants, or King Charles wants, Kate and William's star quality. What's star quality? I mean, you do know the UK is like a small island. But this is definitely a great segue into what I really want to get into. And if you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Now let's get into the second part of this very interesting saga. Because in the midst of all this, Prince William didn't show up to Australia. This summit is happening to use Prince William and Kate's star quality. There was this story as well. And in this story, apparently there's another part of this whole summit that around the time when Prince Harry and Meghan goes to the Invictus Games in Germany, there's a point when they leave that they might, where Prince Harry might be attending the summit for peace talks. So this is being alleged from sources via OK Magazine and the Daily Mail. So do I think it's true? Hell no. But for now, we'll play along. Because, as you all know, even a broken clock is right twice a day. So in the article, it says King Charles is due to return from his summer holiday in Balmoral in mid-September, meaning both the monarch and his youngest son will be in the British capital at the same time. The article continues to go on to say that this meeting is in hopes to smooth out tensions within the royal family and the Sussex camp amidst the whole Spare and Netflix documentary. And then it says Stats is reportedly making plans for the peace talks to take place on September 17th ahead of King Charles' trips in France on September 20th. Okay, magazine. Mind you, if they're lying, they're being very specific about these dates. Like, they had dates and everything. Like, who gives dates in a lie? Unless you're like a pathological liar. But we're gonna go with the guys. We're just gonna go with it. We're just gonna go with it. Let's stay with me here. Now, this is the part that gets me, because it says if the talks takes place, the king will make it very clear that there will be absolutely no private family business discussed in public moving forward. Now, is he saying something like no one, even the courtiers, the men in gray suits, all the people in the palace, like no one from both sides will be talking, right? Is that what he means? I hope that's what he means, because if he's saying that he doesn't want Harry and Meghan to talk, really? Because who the hell leaked this whole situation that has been so convoluted and just made to be something that it really shouldn't have been? Who leaked this? It wasn't Meghan. And who leaked one of the biggest stories in modern royal history? I mean, are we really talking about and being concerned about leaking, right? Like, you're not... I can't even get my words together. It's just the nerve of them always speaking via sources, talking about the reason why they don't want to speak to Meghan and Harry is because they're afraid of anything they say being leaked to Netflix and whatever. But they're saying this through a source who's leaking these conversations to a tabloid. Make it make sense. But let's get back to the story. So the article continues to say it needs Harry over there in the room with the King and Prince of Wales, a couple of other family members, some of his people he trusts who always had his back, so he doesn't think he's been ambushed. Mind you, guys, they're saying he can have peace talks with King Charles on these set dates, but Meghan is expected not to be there. I would think that the person he trusts most to be in that room with him is his wife, which is why this whole story makes no sense to me. But let's continue. It says, however, the Prince of Wales may be slightly harder to win over, the source added. Okay. Harry has shared deeply personal recollections of brotherly spouts, revealed text messages between his wife and... This is why this is... If this is real, this is why this is never going to get anywhere, because based off these sources, the royal family is never going to take responsibility for anything. Because a whole text messages that Harry revealed between Meghan and Kate about the bridesmaid stuff, none of this would have happened if the palace would have came out and just said, this situation didn't happen. Like they lie for everything else. Or how about not leaking to the damn press in the first place about this damn situation? Then we probably never even get here. We probably wouldn't have been through all of this if this stupid story would have never came out. So, who should you blame? Yourself. And then the other part of this story is about how Charles and William allegedly is upset that Prince Harry insulted their wives in his book. Really?
Unknown number. Hello? It was Pa. Granny's health had taken a turn. She was up at Balmoral, of course. Those beautiful, melancholy late summer days. He hung up. He had many other calls to make, and I immediately texted Willie to ask whether he and Kate were flying up. If so, when and how? No response. Meg and I looked at flight options. The press started phoning. We couldn't delay a decision any longer. We told our team to confirm we'd be missing the World Child Awards and hurrying up to Scotland. Then came another call from Pa. He said I was welcome at Balmoral, but he didn't want her. He started to lay out his reason, which was nonsensical and disrespectful. I wasn't having it. Don't ever speak about my wife that way. He stammered, apologetic, saying he simply didn't want a lot of people around.
You want to talk about disrespect? Let's talk about this little baby right here. Back in 2018? Or these stories right here that they knew about and they didn't speak or say anything publicly in support of Meghan. We can go on and on and on because there's a slew of examples of Meghan being disrespected for the past 7 years by this family and the media. So let's not go down that road. But let's watch this clip.
This happened.
And quickly, do you think the British public would accept Harry back if he came back?
I'm not convinced they would.
Really?
I'm really not. I think all of those bombshell interviews, that particular book, and all of
And
the
if all
drama.
of a sudden he said it was Meghan or divorce, there could be the marriage, it could be on the rocks. That's what people are saying. He say, I've made a mistake. Love is blind. I want to come back home. I love you all.
Oh, I think it's gone too.
I don't know what it is with those types of individuals that have that same aesthetic, but this obsession with pretty much making Harry or creating this narrative for if Harry and Meghan were to divorce, that all of this is blamed on Meghan and Harry just get lost in love. They really want that narrative. But why is all this is happening? Why? Why these stories all of a sudden? Here's my theory. To wrap this all up in a bow, I think with the Lioness stuff, Prince William not showing up, these summits that's coming up, is Prince Harry coming? Is he not coming? What is all this telling me? I think, guys, we're at that tipping point that I've been speaking about for a long time. And I think the media, because they love to create a narrative, they love to shape a narrative, has come to realize that these two right here is way more important than what they like to admit. And I think the palace realizes that it's old as dirt and their two youngest energized future king and queen is not as work energized as they should be. And I just came up with that term on my own, work energized. Because we have a good 10 to 15 years before Charlotte, George, and Louis get out there and start being the next latest victims of this whole circus. So who does the media really have? Who does the palace really have to do these important things, to show their relevancy? No one. Because these two are gone.